What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. It turns out that hunch I had was more than just a hunch. The market is going crazy as a lot of people anticipated today and this weekend for quantities of cards hitting the market versus when they were going to move. I loaded all my tabs for Market Watch. I went and took a shower like a good duelist, and then I came back down, and in just that 30 minutes, I was like, you know, something might have happened. I refreshed my tabs, and sure enough, all the quantities for droplets started disappearing. It's now at $75 atop the set, which I said these two would vie for dominance in the set, and Triple Tactics Talent is at 72, up from 70, so people started to go after that a little as well. So right now, droplet is atop the set for what seems to be the first time. Nadir Servant was down towards, I think, $46 listings, and now we see it is at 51 with much less listings, and the rest of the Dragma stuff is going down in price except for Ecclesia, which has consistently just continued to go up a little bit at a time. Luckily, the rest of the set is crazy cheap. Charles is not in charge. It's $4. People were asking me why this isn't just going and shooting up. Everyone's going to be playing it. You might even play it in Dogmatica. Well, yes, you can play it. It's pretty good in there. You only need one, most likely, and on top of that, we've seen what happens with broken ultra rares when sets are so top heavy. Kind of funny that Melfi of the Forest has a higher price than it right now, even with less quantities. This is absurd. We're looking at the initial pushing of the set, and tons of people were waiting for this day to see if things would get cheaper. They're getting that itch. I gotta get my cards out. I gotta secure them. It could go crazier, and likely some things from the set can go crazier, but a lot of the cards will just continue to go down from here. It's insane to me. Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, under $10? It's already headed towards that 8. Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon kind of digging its heels in the sand, trying to stay above $10, but everything else is so freaking cheap. And then we haven't even seen all the Starlights appear on market and get competitive yet, at least on TCG Player, so we'll see how that also affects things as we see tons of these boxes busted for this great value spread. Like, we have basically 3 chase cards for one of the first times ever, and it is under the new ratio, so you're pulling less of those chase cards as a whole. At least they're not short printed, I suppose. But then there's really good mid-range as well, and people are actually buying these. So when it comes down to everything here, it's really a vendor's market. The box price is up $20 from what it should be because of the shorting of the product. Now, my opinion on how this will turn out, I think there might be a surge for Triple Tactics Talent, but wow, there's so many more to buy out than Droplet that I think people are just going to continue to take Droplets off the market for now, and we're going to be looking for a long-term settle on what's actually going to take the lead. How will things be 2 weeks from now? Boy, it's just crazy to reload something and see something else on top of the set on launch day. What? Oh my gosh. Also, while everyone's eyes are over on Rise of the Duelists, I wanted to discuss Battles of Legend, and a question asked me, John, the Numeron engine is insane, it's crazy, it OTKs on its own, it makes S0. Banlist fears are very real, but it's still a really good engine, even if the banlist hits S0, so why is this so dang cheap? It's not shorted at all in a side set. If anything, you're pulling a ton of them. And if you were a vendor and you got in early, you're spending still on a box like this, 52 a box. Then your question becomes, let's say, yeah, 52 a box. Let's say your options are to sell it for $80 or $90 a while ago. You deal with fees, but also shipping on a much larger product versus ripping it open, and 1 out of every 2 cases, or even better, will have 10,000 Dragon, which is at $1,300 right now, and was much more before, towards $1,500, and you saw people even willing to sell it at $900 at one point because of competition. You're buying 12 boxes, right? So that's $624 times 2. Well, gee, if you just sell 10,000 Dragon, that you're averaging out of 1 out of every 2 cases-ish, huh, you don't even have to beat the odds, you're just playing it, and the rest of all your pulls are free. That's why competition is so thick and heavy on such a great engine. I don't think it's going to spike ridiculously anytime soon, but it is something to consider. While it's cheap, getting and it's a great option with stuff like Guru Control and other decks. I'm glad it's cheap for everybody. I'm glad that if you're looking and hunting this down, that these aren't $30, that these aren't, you know, $10+. This is great for everybody, and ban list fears, along with those high quantities, are keeping it in check, but it's mostly just high quantities. The demand for IRL Yu-Gi-Oh!, because you're not really able to play, is way down. And then this is a meta deck that people know can have hits happen to it on a list before they could even play. So you will see, I think, quantities disappear over time, especially if ban lists are favorable, but that's why it's so cheap. It was just easy for vendors to rip open after these two, get their money back, hedge their bets, and the rest of it is just this amazing free roll, even more so than selling the sealed boxes. Now, funny buyout of the day, Magician of Faith. We see this number appear again. If you're the guy doing this on market just to appear on market watches, look, man, look, if you're buying out Magician of Faiths, please use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. I would so appreciate it, because, man, this is a deep money buyout. Jeesh. Like, for all the Magician of Faiths, including the damaged ones to go, come on, man, use that TCG player link. The memes are real, though. We're seeing this trend start to be an actual thing. Oh, Lord. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried is actually going up in price even faster than I would say the Noble Knight out of Toon Chaos. And again, my warning here is unlimited Toon Chaos is coming. You will see people open it up, but we'll also see the market start to speak on unlimited collector rares. I almost think this is like Konami's test. Like, I know we said no unlimited Starlights, but like, you know, let's see how this does. It almost feels a little bit like that. So with unlimited Toon Chaos on the horizon, we will see what happens to these singles and how actually chased after and opened up Toon Chaos is. I hear a lot of distros are juicing on unlimited Toon Chaos as well as stores, so it may actually chokehold it from being open too much because there's like this higher gate on getting to open that Toon Chaos. Also, I've had a lot of people asking me where they can get Megatons. There's not many good answers right now. Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market is even towards full price because, dude, it's just hard to get Megatons. A lot of sites are out of full cases. They put them back up pretty much full price, but you can use code WhatsGood5 to support the channel and get yourself 5% off. This is one of the only places I'm seeing still sell them. Even provisional orders over on Tier 0 where you might not get them because they've had to make a disclaimer, hey, look, these could be shorted. So on their newer listings, they're like, we hope we can get them to you, but you may be refunded. Those sold out over there even. So this is one of the few guarantees left on market for full cases, and we keep seeing sealed go up immediately even before release. Royal Swamp Eel is up because of Mono Bluetron. Let's just get that out of the way. He posted on Twitter, it was hilarious. So his replay tubing powers have gone through the ceiling, and we're seeing cards like this just actually disappear because of memes. So again, this is a meme. I saw like a post in Zodiac also that was like, just juiced my locals, found these in the bulk box. Mono Bluetron, terrorizer of bulk. But that's for the coelacanth, coelacanth, however you say it, decks. Gravedigger's Trap Hole has just gone up slowly over time. 14, 15, 16, and now headed towards 17. It seems like slow peaking stonks, and people are using it. I'm seeing it played more, and Anti-Nibiru strategies with Rafflesia, which is the older card, which is only at $10 and has 2 printings besides its ultimate rare. I feel like if events were happening, this ultimate rare would actually be up even further in price, and these would probably be 20s. So this is still something to consider getting sooner than later, but you could also just see a random printing of her in a gold series or a March reprint set as well for a more accessible version. But yeah, if we had events, I think this would be 20 bucks. Now, speaking of the failed buyout, Book of Moon, we saw this bought out to the point of like 115, 120, is now lower than the original buyout price. I love seeing fallout like this, where the person went in way too early and they actually get hit for it because they bought out those $80, $90 Book of Moons, and maybe other people scrambled in there too. Look at them line up at under $80, almost all the way through the front page. Over on eBay, the recovery has been far less, starting at $80, so it's way better over here, and it's actually starting to seem appetizing in price once again to get your Book of Moons. But somebody spent a lot of money to try to do the first volley of buyouts, whether they thought it was a really good long-term investment or it was a group of people. The fallout is here. That's a failed buyout. Now, you will see rounds of buyouts, dedicated pockets, and to going another time on cards like these. But the problem with Book of Moon versus a card like Scapegoat started low and was going to be easy to make to go high. Like, you're starting at $30, that's a ceiling you can buy out time and time again without wincing, without really hurting if you're a deeper pocket. Whereas this, doing 75 again, and if it happened again and again, that hurts. So I do think this is actually a pretty decent price to get it at before people start to do that trend, but it's a much harder card to force in that range, unlike Scapegoat that started down. And this got bought out, I think, at the $50 range before too, up through 70s, and it's back down towards 60s. So during this time, we have seen a very crazy market that is inflated to new levels under the Crush card where people are stuck inside and they want nice things. Well, I mean, you're seeing the fallout in multiple places, and the dedication it's going to take to actually force those up permanently on the market. And here's just a window into that life of, doesn't always work, and sometimes you overspent way too much on your buyout. But if you are overspending on a buyout, again, use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards I'd already tell you not to do that with.